Please note, this is just a review of the final work and not an endorsement of the creator. Any opinion or prior action belonging to the creator involved, unless otherwise stated, are not factors in this review. Thank you and enjoy!
Sorry about that. I had to adjust everything, otherwise you guys aren't going to be able to see anything. But yeah, they are in Hellstorm. It's slaughtering them all. And then, thanks to Kale is able to take them all down, and then Morbius comes charging in, guns a-blazing. As he starts shooting all of these different things that basically, it's not a cure per se, but it definitely makes the zombies explode so that they're no longer needed anymore. But they still need something. They need something to help, to deal with it, an actual cure. Meanwhile, we find out who it was that escaped. Simon Garth, the zombie. One of Marvel's earliest of their revivals of, their horror line from the 70s, from Tales of the Zombie. As we find out that Captain Mexico had, before he went after Machine Man, went after Zombie, attacked him, because I guess A.R.M.O.R had him captured. Headpool, that's Zombie Deadpool's head, talks to him. They were attacked in the water, hence the zombification, and something is calling to Zombie, as he's being brought into him by Black Talon, a very obscure villain, but one that's very fitting, as to the point where Simon actually starts talking. He normally doesn't talk, but thanks to the voodoo of Black Talon, he is capable of at that moment. But thanks to, and with a little coaxing from Headpool, Simon tosses him, gets a little bit of insanity, and then they eventually make their way further in the ship, and what happens is really disturbing. You see these people with these boils, but they're really eggs on their flesh, of more of those fish creatures as they explode from them. And, well, basically, we find out also that Black Talon is in discussion with the Hood, a villain who has a hood that basically makes him have the power of Doormammu tied into him. And basically, he was being built up by this point, because this is around the time of Dark Reign and everything, so yeah. And basically, then the next issue we open up was Kale's talking about events, as she is just so upset. They're like, I was terrified, but no more. No. Then they blow up the ship before those things could get off to anyone else, as they transport, arguing a little bit, but again, it's team banter. I love it. And we find out the Hood's hideout about what's going on, about all the zombies and everything, and Doormammu is interested. He wants to know what's going on. So they're basically deciding to he's going with some of his best people there. And basically they're trying to work out a deal with Black Talon. Turns out Black Talon also has one of the biggest cocaine production centers in the Caribbean, which, he's like, what are you talking about? Oh, shut up, I know exactly what's going on. As we then find out a bunch more zombies are coming out, as Hood and his men all start, men and women all start to attack, but the Midnight Suns are able to handle themselves. There's not that many zombies in this one, obviously, but I love this bit with Morbius. We are monsters! As he attacks one of the villains. But then soon a bunch of zombies do come up, as they start zapping out all of them, but a weird reaction happens. As they are oxidized, they all explode, but for some reason, they're now become a big gaseous form that consume the rest of the just the Hood's team, just wiping them all out. They're all like, what the burp is happening? To which basically the zombie virus has mutated it. It's become a super bug strain that doesn't need the undead for mobility. In other words, Get the hell out of there! But then Doormammu makes an offer to Kale to unlock her power. We then cut to, again, with Jack giving a message to his sister about everything. Basically, it's like, hey, I passed through all the 5 stages of grief and everything. He's happy. And he's going to have the time of his life. As we're seeing, everyone's trying to deal with this all. As Hood is trying to deal with them, we have Dormammu still trying to tempt Kale. We have Man-Thing showing up to help her out. And yeah, basically they're able to get out of there. We see Simon is still walking around with Headpool until the cloud catches over there and it starts to mutate further and further. And while Simon and Headpool are fine, but Man-Thing is starting to fall apart. And meanwhile, with Black Talon, they're basically again, you have Hood decking him out. And I love how Morbius like, why take our side? Guy's a tool. Your monster squad actually seems to know what it's doing. This is shaping up to be one of those unlikely team-ups against a common foe kind of deal. Welcome aboard. As well, again, Man-Thing is not doing well. The zombie blood is not doing well for him at all. As they continue going further and further, it seems that the zombie cloud is following Simon and Headpool. As more and more are taken out until they reconstitute, they mutate further into an actual being. And we see Kale is controlling Man-Thing and trying to put up a fight, but eventually Man-Thing disintegrates from everything. They feel like if he's gone, what choice do they have? And it turns out Jack had been attacked by one of the zombies and he's mutating. And yeah, all the others are reforming. So eventually Kale agrees to Dormammu's deal. Back in her original bikini outfit that we heard Siege talking about, as she's now possessed by him. We go into the last issue. The message from Hellstorm is simply, Hellwalker, I'm sorry. Yeah, a long story there. But basically everything's starting to get bad. A.R.M.O.R's talking about nuking the place just to make sure everything's, they're able to stop everything. We see, you see just, Kale with Doormammu's power just going nuts, attacking everything. We then see Simon takes Headpool's head to a boat, and, well, we'll find out where he goes later. But yeah, thanks to Doormammu, just keeps on just going nuts, attacking everyone, taking the form of Patsy for a moment until Hellstorm is basically like, yeah, no, not gonna work. Morbius is trying to get Jack to transform because technically a werewolf is already undead, and with a rapid healing factor, it should hold back more because it's undead and everything. And he's also trying to be like, I know you're in there. Until eventually, with some of Hellstorm's coaxing, is able to convince Kale to get rid of Doormammu. Then Kale uses her magic to force and keep Jack inside of his werewolf form. Also because Jack's body chemistry changes along with his body under the full moonlight, and so basically the werewolf is not infected. Then with some of Black Talon's help, after he wakes up, mixed with his voodoo and Atlantean magic, are able to control the storm as the sentient embodiment comes through. But then it turns out Man-Thing is still alive as he comes through, lifts up the creature, and because all who know fear burn at the touch of Man-Thing, he ignites the creature. But without a sentient body to control it, he needs to put it somewhere. So Simon shows up and they put it into him. Then Morbius quickly tells them, abort the launch. Sorry, but we had to do it. Then, it turns out it's hard to tell about Hood's cronies, if they're alive or still zombies. But he leaves with them, as they're now feeling like, all the loose ends are tied up. Where's Headpool? They think Simon destroyed him. Nope, they put him on a boat as he heads off to sea to head into a book I'm not going to be covering, and that's the Deadpool, and one of the Deadpool, I think Merc with a Mouse, I think that miniseries that deals with everything, as well as Deadpool core, but those aren't directly Marvel Zombies related, so I'm not going to go into them. But this, I like it, how it ties up the loose ends. It's more of a 616 universe book, more than it is a Marvel Zombie story, because most of the Marvel Zombies are, it's just Headpool and knows who he infected, but for continuing on with everything, it's a good continuation that wraps everything up. But, when speaking of the Hunger Gospel, we've got 2 more stories dealing with that, plus 1 more dealing with A.R.M.O.R, Morbius, and all that. So tune in tomorrow as we go over and where the Marvel Zombies meet the Marvel Apes. I was going to do originally all the Marvel Apes, but unfortunately, because the last issue of the second set of miniseries was digital only, I do not own a copy of it. So instead, I'm just going to go right into the Marvel Zombies crossover, explain the details of everything leading up to it, and then go over that. Then, after that, I'll be doing Marvel Zombies Return, where we finally find out what happened to the zombies from the end of Marvel Zombies 2. Where did they end up? And finally get an explanation to the origin of the virus. Then after that, I will be going into Marvel Zombies 5, the last numerical number miniseries. That's more of a tour de force, but it plays off of stuff from 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so until then, I'll catch you guys later.